Hey, what's up everyone? Alright, welcome to a very exciting video. It may be a little confusing when you listen to it, but that's why I'm doing this intro right now. So what I did in this video is I go through my attempt at drawing animals out of my head with no reference. I didn't study before I did it. I just picked two random animals. I gave myself about 10 minutes per animal, and I knocked out a full page of drawings in approximately 20 minutes. And I tried to draw an elephant and a rhino. So this is the result, and comparing it to actual anatomical things, I think the video speaks for itself. If you can, please check out my Patreon. It's a tip jar. I do actually upload exclusive content for people that donate to Patreon or tip there. I'll send you links to the videos that I've done that are private. Yeah, this is very interesting. I do say that I'm going to draw at the end of this video. I won't do it on this video. It's so long that I think that it's better to just have a new video where we combine the anatomy of an animal, the ones that we tried to pull out of our head, into drawings with its own video. So enjoy this video. I will be uploading the drawing part of the video, a drawing video today, just to be clear. But I don't want to have to edit the whole video to just basically say, hey, I'm not going to draw at the end of this video, so I'll do it on the intro. But don't worry, a new video will be up with drawing today. But this is one of the books that I use. I just wanted some eye candy while I ramble. So yeah, I think you're going to be very interested when you see the results, and I really want you to try this exercise, okay? Smash the like, please, and enjoy the video. Subscribe if you haven't, and please check out my Patreon. All right, thank you. Enjoy the video. Hey, what's up everyone? It's Rich. Good morning. It is Wednesday, hump day. Speaking of humps, we got bumps in the humps. All right, so I set up the OBS last night. I don't have a webcam, so unfortunately I can't stream with audio yet. There is a hack. I don't know if it's a hack, but there's an app you can download that supposedly you can stream from your phone and like get, you know, yourself in video and then also have audio from it. But the the kid that did the tutorial on YouTube, you know, he's like 16 years old, and the comment section was like, it didn't work, too many ad pop-ups, the audio keeps dropping out. And I was like, you know what, do I really want to install this sort of random thing on my computer? And I just decided, look, I just need to get a webcam. I need to deal with it. But anyway, so what we're going to do, we're going to review what we drew out of our heads, and then we're going to compare it with, I was going to do it on the computer and just pull up photos of the animals, but I have two animal drawing books, and I figured, you know what, I'll just bust those out. Okay, so these were all out of my head. I did these in 20 minutes, so 10 minutes per each animal, trying to see if I could draw an elephant and a rhino, which I had never drawn before in my life. I hadn't even thought about an elephant or a rhino in years, probably, other than the fact that I know that they exist. It wasn't anything that was on my radar. So, I never went in and cleaned that up, but at the very, very end, I kind of drew over that because I knew that this head was more accurate than my original head. I'll put a link to the original video below so you can see it. So, after the fact, there were a couple of things that I thought about, and I had still never gone and cross-referenced what the animals look like. I was nearly sure that these guys had cloven feet, meaning that they probably had like a split foot with two toes in the front. I kind of remembered that out of the blue. I knew this armor thing was going in the right direction, and then with the elephants, I remembered like seeing like circus elephants that could lift their legs. It's a little hard to read, but this is fairly accurate of what I thought. And then with the elephants, I had a few minutes to draw that night. And I remembered this, that like if you see them from the front, it's more of this shape, which led me to believe that although they probably can drop their ears, they probably don't generally sit like that, except maybe if they're tired or more belabored. But anyway, this is all stuff that I drew out of my head. What I found coming back to it at night, because I really never had an opportunity to mill it over during the day, unfortunately, is I was just kind of repeating what I had done in the morning. And then I had mentioned in another video that I got slammed with emails around between 4 and 6. I was getting hit by about 3 different eraser dust. Sorry, I was getting hit with like, you know, this book is done. We can't find the inks for a certain page, and like, where are these pages? And it just totally pulled me out of my game, because all of a sudden stuff that I had turned in and was done wasn't done or wasn't found, and it just was very distracting. And I also was missing a paycheck. And, you know, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that can pull you out of your game. And I know that you guys all experience that too in your lives. stuff happens. But anyway, but yeah, so okay, so what I did is I grabbed out whatever, like an animal drawing book, and this is really interesting. So check this out. It's not too bad. So let's compare and contrast really quick. We will draw today, so there's 3 different main types of rhinos. There's an Asian rhino, there's a white rhino, and there's a black rhino, or an Indian rhino. So the Indian rhino looks to be the armored one, and this is probably what I saw at the zoo. It's a single horn animal. What's interesting is the rhino over here is a double horn. So the one on top is the black rhinoceros, the one on the bottom is the white. Now, do these have armor? It's not a very detailed drawing, difficult to say. So one thing that I had mentioned is that they had what I believe to be hippo characteristics. Bingo bango, look at this, baby. They say there's 3 animals that all have similar anatomy, and it's the hippo and the rhino. So I was on point with that. Do we have the dropped head? Yes, we do. Do we have the armor like this? And okay, so we're just looking at broad strokes. Okay, the padded leg. Do you remember when I put that in the video? The armored leg, I got that. And I'm telling you, the last time that I saw a rhino in person, or in general, was at the zoo, probably like 8 years ago, easily. I remember that they had these big, massive plates of armor. So look, I've got the girdle one. It doesn't sit on the, it doesn't sit on the right part of the body exactly. It's close, but, you know, you can see me kind of fighting through it. And I think, the back, okay, so it's separated here though, probably from mobility, like its nature's mobility. Okay, it's got the little spindly tail. I put it up, but I remembered seeing some kind of like sort of spindly tail. Do you see it? It's not bad. Oh, and look, and the little pig feet. Like I told you, I knew that they probably had that. I initially thought that they maybe had more of an elephant foot. As I thought about it after I watched the video back, I was like, no, that can't be accurate. So honestly, on the rhino, I did not do that bad. The eye placement is pretty good. The mouth, I was never really sure how far the mouth went back. So the mouth is off. The mouth is more shallow. It actually only opens to about here, which does make sense. I think that rhinos are vegetarians, whatever they call that, for animals. Omnivore, carnivore. I know carnivore is a meat eater. Okay, so then let's check out the elephant really quick. Isn't this interesting, though? Do you see what you can do out of your mind if you believe in yourself? And I believe in you. Okay, let me set the phone. I'm going to pause it down. Pause it for 1 second. Get the right page. Okay, I'm back. So, okay, so here's silhouettes of elephants. I was having trouble with the height of it. I mean, in terms of, like, I wasn't 100% sure when I sketched mine out. I think just the being on the spot, having the gardener like making a ton of noise was distracting me. But I think ultimately I got close to the height of an elephant in terms of proportions. I mean, you figure if you look at here, you've got, well, it would be hard to, I don't have a measuring tool in particular, but you know, it's headed the right direction. I remembered, well, there's a front view so we can see it really quick. Okay, so they actually show the horns down here. Now, do they come up on some elephants? They may. But again, I got closer to the ears after I had some time to relax and think about it. But again, I never, ever cross-referenced any real photos or any kind of thing like that. Because this is really interesting how they set up the head. I got the eyes right in terms of like where, how they sit and the skull. And I have this shape. If you notice, it stops here and does that. This is pretty impressive. I have to say that I'm like kind of tripping on how close I got, because I really was I don't know, frustrated wouldn't be the right word, but it was such a distracting video to do. I felt like everything was coming apart, and like I said, when I set out to do the video, I wasn't going to give myself a second chance or edit it or do any sort of thing to sort of like make me look more impressive on it, because I thought that was kind of, okay, so the tusks can go up. Boom, look at that. It's closer. And again, I bet if I found a photo, I could maybe even find one that goes even closer to what mine is. Maybe not, though. Maybe that's too extreme. I don't know. So the ears, that was a very interesting part of the elephant. So let's look at a side view of the elephant first. It's funny that they're all the opposite direction of mine. I wish, for convenience and comparing sake, they were closer. So Indian and African elephant. So there are different kinds. I noticed too. Hold on, let me see if I can find it on here. Where was it? Oh, the top UI. Yeah. Okay. So if you look at here, so their ears actually do sort of like mount on the top of their head, although they're probably attached also to the side. But the shape of the ear is not bad. So 6. What does it say for diagram 6? Let's read this really quick. We're getting our learn on and our creative muscles. We're flexing our recall. Can you recall? I hope you can. This is important because the thing is look, I love drawing superheroes, but there's plenty that I can work on for superheroes. But can you pull stuff out of your head that you would be called upon to draw in a script? Because that's what you're going to need to do. Of course, now Google's 2 clicks away, but it's like you want this ability. You want to develop it if you don't have it, and you can. I believe. I don't know, but I think that most people would be able to do this. I hope. So. Yeah, I remember when I first sketched this out, he kind of had like dog ears, and it was sort of funky. It didn't really work for me. So we're going to look at the tusk. So let me grab my pencil, or this nib. Okay, so here's the eye, and then if you think of the skull, they had a real good cutaway of the skull. Where was it? I saw this. I opened the book to see if they even had elephants in these, because I couldn't really remember what were in these books. I haven't looked at them in years. There was oh yeah, this. So here's the cranium of an elephant, and I actually, if you remember, I originally did sketch it in. It's a little difficult to see now, but there's the eye socket. So the eye socket on an elephant is actually quite big, and there's not as much back cranium. You might be going, blah, 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 who gives a shit about this? I'm telling you, it all superimposes over other stuff you're going to learn. The toes, right? Look at their foot. Do you see that? It's kind of like a crocodile foot or an alligator foot a little bit. They do have a back toe. I assume that they did. Bam! Do you see how all this stuff is lining up? I gave myself a D on this. I'm bumping it up to a D+. Trunk length is good. It's a little hard to read because I was sketching stuff in, but overall, I mean, I kind of knew where it would fall about, which would be probably about. Sorry, I was like mid leg here. You can see I initially had like I was curious about this too, if they were going to have the double bone like our forearm does, because I wasn't sure on that if it would be double. Oh, and see, it does. The back legs have it. Do you see that second bone that wraps? So there's a lot of twisting with anatomy, and the like muscles and stuff will follow the bone and wrap around it, and it all creates support. Here's their collarbone sits up here. I did give space in my drawing for the collarbone. The hump of the back, their back actually goes up here. So this is incorrect. The rhinos also have a hump on their back. So really, really interesting. I don't know if I need to really beat this into the ground anymore, but I think overall my attempt at this was actually successful. And I'm pleasantly surprised. That looks weird, but the thing is it took me to here, you know, in a few minutes too. It was quite quick. When I told the story of me drawing a horse out of my head, I spent longer on it. It was probably an hour or two. Again, it was years ago, so it's very difficult for me to remember, but I don't think it was over 2 hours, and it may have been even faster than what I'm giving myself credit for. But you can do this. I'm telling you, you just need to be in a chill state of mind, and then you need to just start going through your mental Rolodex. You got this. I'm telling you, animals with fur are more difficult. Oh, and see, I was talking about that they kind of have smiley mouths. And you see how it, like, they always look like they're kind of like they have like a happy face to me. Oh, the eyelashes. Okay, so mental note. I remember that they have really, really long lashes, or at least one of them does. This is the Asiatic elephant. Has the longer lids. So, you know, there's varieties of these animals. It's really cool. It almost has a bit of a porpoise feel. So you want to start connecting all this stuff in your mind, because it's really, really going to come in handy when you have to do things. And oh man, there's nothing better than good cartoonists that can do like animals. I love that too. All right, and the droopy skin I was talking about, I remembered as I was doing this, this area, I all of a sudden was like, oh yeah, they have the droopy skin. I remembered seeing that years before. See that? That loose skin. Boom. Okay, we're going to get into drawing some monsters and try to incorporate a little tiny bit of this. And I have no idea how it's going to go. Hopefully decent. Oh, these are great. The gait, like the walk of an elephant. Really cool. Do you see how that back leg? These are things that you really want to actually start to dial into, is the body language of things. It's one thing to be able to draw something. It's quite another to be able to put it into action and have it look believable. And the thing is you don't need to be an artist to know if something is believable or not. There's an intuition, and just people know. They know instinctively when something isn't moving right. They may not be able to tell you why, but even just someone that's admiring your art will kind of pick up on little things that you do wrong. And again, furred animals, I personally think are more difficult to draw because their structure is a bit more hidden and it's more based on fur. So we'll get into furred animals later. That'll be something down the road. But yeah, a lot of people, I think the common mistake that they make trying to learn to draw animals is they go after something like this. Unless you're going to do it kind of more hard-lined, when you start getting into fur, it can get real funky, and you know, it's like it can look real weird real fast. So you're better off kind of almost having a bit more of a linear approach to it than trying to do something like this, because you can get lost in the lines. Okay, we're at 14 minutes. We need to get to drawing. Sorry, I'm going to stop this and I'll edit the video later to get to the drawing part, but it'll be right on the back end of this video for y'alls. Smash the like, you know you want to, and subscribe, okay? And check out my Patreon. I'm telling you, it's awesome. Free stuff. Bye. Hey, I'm back for one more second. I wanted to point this out because I remember this, the mottled skin. Do you remember I talked about them having that sort of dimpled skin? And I said that there were spots that were in between the armor that had this sort of this texture. You can see it actually sits on the armor. I mean, this is obviously an artist rendering of it. I'd be curious to see a real one. But I remember that there were gaps that had that effect on them. So I just wanted to point that out. That was another observation and thing that I was able to pull from my mind that I knew somehow existed on this animal. Okay? I'll be back with drawing right now. Right now.